Chris, you guys have obviously sort of been through the fire this preseason. A lot of MLS opponents, a lot of travel. You get to come back home and play at Family Stadium this weekend. Start by summing up where you feel like the team is at this point now, a little more than a week out from the regular season opener.
Yeah, I think we're in a great spot. Losing is obviously not what this club prefers, in terms of results, but the one thing you can look at when you look at losses is, can you learn from it? And I think we've definitely learned a lot of lessons in this preseason, definitely been humbled, and I think we're in a really good spot in terms of just team mentality, and we have learned a lot of lessons, and I think the fans will see them, how we'll implement them on Saturday.
Getting to play Pittsburgh, they're obviously not going to be on the regular season schedule for, I think, the first time in Louisville City's history, but getting that sort of game in a stadium, how does that get you sort of season ready? I mean, it seems like it's maybe a tougher test than you would normally take for your last one.
Yeah, in terms of, the last game before it officially kicks off, you couldn't ask for a more challenging opponent, I think, than Pittsburgh. Every time we've played them, it's been a battle. It's been difficult. It's never been an easily decided game in any sense. So in terms of one final test for us, I think this is going to be the perfect one for us.
Being back in front of the fans, excitement from the stadium, how much excitement is there from that standpoint?
Oh, it's going to be awesome. I mean, we went to watch the racing game this past weekend, seeing the fans, and it was kind of weird seeing it from the fan side, but it just got me so excited to actually get in there and actually be on the field with all the fans, and I know the rest of the guys are so excited to finally get back in the land.
You mentioned the racing thing. I mean, what has that been like to sort of just be an outsider, but also still entwined with them and see how that whole thing has exploded in the last week?
It's been really cool. It's been very, very, especially for growing up here and seeing how racing interacts with the youth academy, how we interact with, and how it all is coming together. I believe one time preseason, it's been a few times, but the first time it happened where it was us, it was racing, and it was the U18 girls and boys academies were all training at the same time one morning, and I remember looking at it kind of just like, wow. Coming from Louisville, I never would have expected to even have a pro team, let alone professional women's team and professional men's team and full youth academy along with it. So it's been cool. It's been cool to see how they've kind of stepped into their own.
For you individually, you've obviously had to battle for playing time with some keepers here who have gone on to Major League Soccer. This seems like you have a great opportunity in front of yourself this year. What has it been like, working with Simon, but also feeling like you could be the guy this year that takes that role?
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things that competition is something that always fuels greatness. It really does. And last year Ben had a terrific season, and this year hopefully, I learned from it. I competed, and in the off season I trained hard and worked hard to get to where I need to be. And so yeah, I think hopefully this year I have high hopes. I have high hopes for us as a team and me personally.
Compared to last year's team, how is this team different at this point in the game?
This point in the game, I think we're a little more experienced. And obviously we have a ton of very veteran players on this team, but even more so, I think we're more savvy, even more so than last year. And last year we were very veteran, very experienced. So I think us learning those lessons early on is going to be very beneficial for us later.
Has this felt more like a normal preseason as opposed to what you guys went through last year?
Yeah, in some aspects, yes. In some aspects, generally our preseasons aren't this long, but that's kind of given us the chance to kind of gradually get into it instead of just going 100%, super hard for 4 or 5 weeks. But it definitely is much more normal than what we experienced last year.